Smile to the platform, next journey. Whether it's positive or famous, together we can take leading part and that's it anywhere. But we will not try to do it. Which is part of it, but that's the kind of information. Everybody was a very part of the garden of the media. You are reminded of the worst whether it is the no fact that only planning for our shaping, underlying the vulnerabilities. Accountability that I need to achieve it. If you are navigating to start with the speech, everybody, the very speech, question the right of security, explore economics and human science, to apply the perspective minds and themes. Now, for looking from with experience in political theory, in tourism politics, and have seen India. So there is no issues for do not have administrative roles. He has served as leader committee within the staff council, which includes the libraries of the given social group, while the library CNC. The teacher was you also with a leader for anti-other in political towards leadership, not knowledge, but guiding through the creative collaboration. Thank you so much, sir. Restore the almost a friend of student. Okay. Right. We are really well, but for many we have that. We try to get policy policies. So, the first topics that I think is center on studies, but I think human theory, movements, studies and writing, and I think he touched not to learn, a little bit to German. And it's sort of this new way to practice movies. And not just in idea, realize around but because you think it was maybe from a data from it's like there is no photograph to use that. However, more social movements with confidence, even though there is a solution. Recent ways were dropping and then starting and others running and I am for this point theory. Straight up. Here is the main for me. Relevant points, including the relevant and the way now structured course, where it was evaluate the students' union. Social is also an institute in my training. ICSSR in politics. So leadership and not knowledge will guide from the students' conversation. Practice our third attendance. We reports officers where the version is in the next. Greenlight applications include children, urban, latency, creating acceleration, setting and running units of users, people, platform, relationship, to change your entries. So that our has friction with circular integration, the are important that I wish because we're importantly to understand political science in India. As we embark on an intellectual journey, we forward for any conversation. The exchange of ideas and experiences will not be a lifelong. It's and hope for an inspiration failure. Without worrying, I now invite esteemed leaders to share their thoughts with us. Really not in the room the family life. My mission from 4 years today, funded your community to our political science in India. And they are aimed by the president, and we should begin with the immediate discussion. Thank you. Yes, this is a good business. Finally, the Professor Ravi, they are the chair for event to kindly conduct the proceedings of the event. Okay. See, just how it's that is welcome to all of you, and gives me immense pleasure to welcome very eminent scholars, Manendra Nath and Ajay Gudavachi. And I'm here not as a chair but to be as a moderator. Professor Ashok Acharya could not come today, as he's unwell. So I'll be just going about doing what we call as housekeeping rules. So the first thing, I would request the organizer those who are keeping the gate to keep it open. Leave the door open because there is some number one. Number two, how much time do we have? Okay. 1.5 hours that will be so 20 to 25 minutes, which can then I'm sure all of them will engage one another. And if time we will invite questions of various comments. So, first of all, congratulations to Department of Psychology for having conceptualized this field. It's so important, and especially when we look at our own discipline, political science. We realize that this kind of an exercise has not been done to our knowledge. I also spoke about this to my other friends. We haven't engaged in this kind of exercise for a very long time. The last time that the university engaged on this particular question, idea of political, that goes back to almost 25 years back. And another very interesting thing to note is that ICSSR brings about disciplinary total surveys research. And the last publication is of 2010-2011. Almost 10 years have passed, or more than 10 years have passed, and we haven't had that.
So that makes this exercise, today's session, very, very important, very, very. This session uh, opens up the space and also whets intellectual curiosity to examine and explore our own field. Uh, Now, the term decolonize India, that what does it exactly refer to? Is it just post-colonial? If it is post-colonial, is it from that post-colonial perspective that is to be seen? Or is it very innocently referring to post-independence? I don't know what does decolonize India mean. Decolonize India mean would also be in the context of the current conversations that we have about decolonization of mind. So if it is decolonization of mind, then is it about setting agenda for the future? What kind of a decision that each term you should be taking? And when I go to the sub themes, we see uh, colonial legacies to post-colonial aspirations. So, whose aspirations are we? Uh, After independence, political science over several decades have moved in several directions, and political science itself encompasses many, many areas of concern, from government to theory to thought to policy making to international relations. All kinds of approaches are also there. There are new ways of interpreting what is the idea of the political. So these are some of the questions, some of the issues. I hope the very esteemed panelists would throw light on this. So with these words, may I invite uh, Dr. Manendra Thakur to address you. Syed, Dr. You can come from there. Please, we can do great speaker. It's always a challenge to manage to say the things that I want to say in 10, 15 minutes. But I try to do that under just 3 points. Let me begin by thanking Rohit and the team and the great political science and Dept who have been my friend for two things. One, that having such kind of discussion and also inviting more friends together to show our differences in thought. We have a lot of differences. And I'm really missing Ashok Acharya, who happened to be my roommate and I remember of the days when we, Satish and Ashok, had long discussions on the issue of colonize and decolonize. Of course, after returning from abroad, he implemented the project. Since I did not go abroad, I continued with the project. So there are 3 points I want to make. There are three brief points and pick up those things and some other points if they are there later on. The first point is about the decolonizing figure and what does that mean for the person. And the second one will be about the nature of social science that we have to reimagine. We have to think of new kind of social science. Why do we need to think of new kind of social science? And third will be kind of what will be the component of new society if we have to implement our English. On the decolonizing debate, I think there are three stages of this. The first phase was of great scholars like Radhakrishnan, Sindas, and so many of them, J. Mohanty and others, in philosophy. Uh, the first page, they were just asserting that as Europe has philosophy or the West has philosophy, we also have philosophy. If you look at the introduction of the books that they have, you will see the conflict that they are suffering. Europe denied that India has philosophy.
And for a long time, we also believed that we have religion but not philosophy. Fortunately, that debate is gradually settled, and people have accepted that India has philosophy. Like Digo Parak says that, of course, India has philosophy, but India has no political theory. So now the debate has shifted whether India has political theory or not. So that was the first. Second phase was marked by engagements between Indian scholars and the Western scholars, or Indian scholars who were pursuing Western knowledge and Indian knowledge, those who were pursuing Indian knowledge. So Aryabhatta, a great philosopher, he organized series of discussions between the traditional and the modern things. Some of them are beautifully documented. One of the books on traditions in philosophy that Krishna has written an introduction, which is a summary of the reflection by people like Dinadas, Asis Gandhi, Sudhir, so many of them on their enterprise of society. And they all have agreed that there is something wrong with it, but it is very difficult to pinpoint and very difficult to think of transferring thinking of a new brand. So this was the second phase where that generation was struggling with evolving a new thing. I think that second phase has a little long. Even in political science, you look at political scientists like Decolonized and others, you will find that they were constantly struggling to think of a new paradigm, unable to get out of it. So I remember thinking to Bukhari once, I asked him, what do you think is an unfinished project? And he said that, well, I think that we have not done enough work to understand India properly from Indian point of view. So we are not willing to engage with that. Similarly, I asked, the main thing was that what do you think is an unfinished project? He said, my unfinished project is my non-engagement with Indian philosophy. If I get another life, I like to engage with Indian philosophy. I asked him similarly, the sir, you have been telling us that our cognitive damage has happened due to chronic. But then you have never told us what to do about it. And I think Arvind was witness to that moment. Fortunately, he's there. Nobody is saying that I'm just making up a story. So both of us are there. We said that we like to have a cup at IC. We went to him in the IC canteen. And then he offered coffee and said, again, we fear. I said, what do you fear? He said, we won't get ticket to the West. So these are his words. This fear that the basic body was complete when school will come. They were yesterday. They were the newspaper to challenge. But why things? Sociologists. I asked them the same questions. That there was a Lucknow School of Sociology, which was almost debating about Indian sociology in a different way. But it didn't come out very well. ICSSR-NRC and others were there. So why the project failed? He said, all of us were very confident that we have to do something different in Indian society today, but we were not confident enough to write or send those articles in the international journal. So we developed technique of writing internationally differently and in our private papers. The difference was there. Wondering why this difference happened. Secondly, the nature of social science itself. I think social science in India developed during the colonial period. And during the freedom struggle, whatever social science they developed, that was developed in different forms. I will talk to that. So the social science that dominate even today in Indian universities, and Indian universities are a replica of Western universities to the extent of it. I don't know how many of you know that Delhi School of Economics have been designed on the of London School of Economics. When we came, there was a joke. We were wondering why every School of Economics main gate was not open. So we were told that since London School of Economics doesn't open the main gate, we don't open the main gate here. I remember that we used to do. So this kind of replica we formed here in the Decolonized session. And we always try to meet the criteria developed by them. And we wrote articles to fit into their framework. So what Akhil Bilgrami said that the second generation was more or less suffering from cognitive limitation. We are doing a lot of cognitive limitation. In fact, I literally say that what is the nature of social science in India? That JNU knows what is happening in the West. Allahabad knows, JNU knows what is happening in the West. And Patna knows that Allahabad knows, JNU knows what is happening. That's the hierarchy that has been created in the system. So we are just trying to meet that criteria, that is developed criteria. And that is how there is a gatekeeping there. If you do anything different, you will neither be published nor be acknowledged. And I think after studying meant by that, we say that you don't get it there today. So you're not acknowledged. So you have to say something which is fitting into their kind of division of labor. They will develop theory, you will provide empirical evidence. This is called intellectual pooling. So Indian social scientific base, I'm sorry, I'm using a very strong statement, but this is given by somebody I would like to take name. When a project was given by London School wow, discovered was that being collected data was that project. And we were told, including the professor who was in charge of the project, that we cannot use this data for 3 years. Despite the fact that before starting the project, we made the studies. Now, this data is belong also, they are important. So this relationship more deeper and deeper required is transfer relationship. It's like following markets, there is also slave relationship. Who is also slave relationship? The master is supposed to know only about himself. And slave is supposed to know about himself and the master know. And we have to speak in the language that master understands. Like I attended a conference in ICSSR. I think the things was also there. The title was very interesting. Rendering Indian philosophy in English language. The other project is philosophy in English language. They are not philosophizing. So when we say we are doing critical theory, what we are doing is history of critical theory. They are not theorizing. And of course, now people when they retire, they accept this. Before retirement, they don't accept. So a lot of our professors when they are retired, they agree with me, but before that they don't. So I think there are 3 aspects in social science in the West. Now with notice to the Western sector. Now they are saying, so decolonizing debate is not supposed to be. Decolonizing debate is a debate being raised by themselves. Look, journals being published, when they are saying that they have to decolonize knowledge. This is something that they are facing now. The deep philosophical crisis they are facing. They think that, as Vivek says, there's an end of time. The modern time that started with enlightenment that has come to an end. And new philosophy has to be developed, and they don't have resources. In fact, they found the resources. So they have to open up to the global philosophy. So now there's a global philosophy department coming up in the West. So they themselves are interested in. Here's the problem there. One of the biggest problems is that the contingent religion, the mind body duality, has created a decentralized control. If I can explain that. The reality is not seen as complete. They are fragmented with the reality. And therefore, the disciplines are designed like social science center. The School of Social Science in JU was part of having a school where all departments engage with each other. but I will not, if there's any interaction between political science and the educational psychology or anything. So this difficulty, we cannot put them together. So there's a decolonized. We can go on talking about problems that have generated in knowledge. Secondly, the universal. Those who are talking of decolonizing, they are not challenging the universe. The West has created a universe, and then they want us to conform to that universe. Now that universe is very particular actually, particular of the West. But they think that which is the universal, if you don't come to that, then that is not true. And third thing is ignoring the complex. We will go to this point in more detail how ignoring the complexity creates the problem. Computer scientists will understand this very well. So these are the problems that they are facing in their own business. And therefore, they are also moving towards phenomenal oriented research rather than discipline oriented. In fact, the debate has come to us very late and in a different forms. So what is being debated today in terms of polarization? There are things who don't think they are very neat and clean category, but pretty full benefits of that. One is called identity assessment. That we have the knowledge. We are the oldest civilization, so we have all the knowledge, and we must assert. And decolonizing means that forget about the Western knowledge, start thinking with Indian knowledge. It is limitation. The limitation is that the knowledge that we have developed, so it's very limited. In some areas we know sources, in many areas we don't know resources. When did we know that we were colonized? Despite having great Sanskrit and Persian scholars, scientists have never discovered any text and have inquired about it from the great scholars. Any text which would tell us that you were being colonized. The first person who told us you were being colonized was Aryabhatta. Nobody told that. So how do you understand capitalism today? How do you understand colonialism today if you go back to that resource? It is not that West has invested a lot of resources in the last 200-300 years on developing its knowledge of this kind. So this kind of identity assessment looks very futile. The second is model of requesting that is, let us accept the universal, let us accept their format and contribute to that format. This has been the model of social science discovered. Like they have a concept of fascism. So we have to analyze things here and get into the fascism category. Or they have a category of feudalism. So we have to analyze our thing and we have to fit into that category. That doesn't work. There's a problem in that. Unless you understand your own reality with the way people understand, and then get into the new universe, you will be in trouble. So that is also a failed project. Third model would be acknowledge human beings, wherever they are, they have produced certain kind of things, but they have a reflexive capacity. When they face a problem, they respond to it and they produce problem. So all knowledge everywhere should be respected. Now, doesn't mean that you become a pluralist of a kind that everything is. That only means that there is an invitation for a dialogue. There should be dialogue between different traditions. A negotiation, why are we negotiating? In the negotiation, there's enough critical space. And there will be a criteria for considering something as more adequate choice. Two questions. One, that any theory that has a capacity to explain what will explain the other theory to something more than that is a theory. So let's negotiate and see which theory has ability. We might have agreement about theory of consciousness. which I will not discuss here. While saying that consciousness in India is very important theory, and that should be the overarching thing where other theories come about. Second definition is knowledge is to your purpose. What is the purpose of it? The purpose of knowledge for the human limits. If knowledge is not liberated, it is no knowledge. And this is very old idea of Yavidyasa, Vinukta. So if you let me see if by taking these two arguments together, and what is liberation and what is question. I have full argument about what is liberation, but single statement from Marx that my freedom should be, or my liberation should be guarantee of your liberation, and your liberation should be guarantee of freedom. When you go on debating about quantity. So these kinds of negotiations. Okay. So I think this model of democratic negotiation simply much more viable. And this is a long history. But I don't have time to explain the history of it. The imagine from 6th century to the British period. There is knowledge space that's created. All conflicts are there, but at the same time, in the knowledge space, a lot of debates and discussions between down happens. In the 6th century BC, a small place called Vaishali in Bihar, chief great philosophers in 10 years debated. Mahatma Mahavir Jain and Ajit Keskamar. They were living together and debating. And they debated. Finally, a philosophy that Kumar became powerful philosophy for 20 the dominant himself with us. There are stages in India where different kinds of knowledge traditions have come. They have done now, and new knowledge has come. Similarly, I think today, instead of negating the knowledge of any other, we need to engage to see how new knowledge becomes. This newness. And newness for what? Newness. Newness for liberation. The knowledge project has to be universal human rights. It's 55 the founding fathers of Indian next Brahmin, and look at the theories. Look at the thing. They really said that Western want to the belief of they were there. They were living human social. Unfortunately, when social science disciplines have never taken this. Only in Italy, if I'm not wrong, one paper was introduced, Indian political law. And once that is not an isolated paper, then they are finished. Look at this situation. For understanding religion, we go to Marx, Durkheim, and paper. These thinkers, no doubt about it. They have no experience of a society where religions are born. You are living in a society where these religions are born. Neither they have an experience of multi-religious society. Yet we think their theories are enough for explaining our own reality. Compared to that, Gandhi, Ambedkar, and Tito have very vibrant theory of religion, but they never try that out in social science. The social science takes this discipline or Indian political thinkers, isolated people making great ideas. You can make statues, you can fight on in the name of that, but you never take it seriously as thinkers. Oh, sorry. Here. So this is the second thing that I think schools is that we have to really think of transformative social science. Social science till now that we have been doing is an administrative social designed by the colonial power to control people. Social science will have to design itself now to liberate human beings. I don't have time to explain this, but under juxtapose between transformative social science and liberative social, administrative social. I think the public policy orientation, Durkheim was taken organization study. All these things are there too. So JNU has said that big space or committee commission people that all our professors were supposed to be advisors to government. Yes, the movement, advice of the government. I think we have to really change that idea. Instead of advice of the government, we have to advise of the movement. Probably that is the time that we have to think of. That improve degree. How do we do that? How do we do that? I think there are really great conceptual categories. Within social science, within Indian curriculum, that reflect. Two are just mentioned in. One, the idea of desire. I think idea of desire has been so central in Indian critical thinking. My friend Aryabhatta now reads their main concern. Their main concern is that how to regulate the desire to individual or social. To create a system that can allow people to experience, achieve the legitimate desire and stop the illegitimate. So one different idea that can be what we design the disciplines. Similarly, this is beautiful one kind of human nature. The idea of human nature in the West is what? They take one aspect of the being and produce an entire theory. Human being and critical scientists will understand very well. Hobbes' law, Rousseau and all. Human being are good or bad, and then he create a theory. They forget the complexity of human. I think there are 10 elements of human personality, human objective. Also, God achieved in a combination of intelligent space. Taking that into consideration, their design of critical theory could be a desirable problem, which have been done by the in all the Indian texts you read, there are two very common things, very common. One is designs. Here is some procedure. You slip from that, you move to all of the stuff about everything. Start calm, that means you talk about everything. Intertextuality is good. And second interesting thing is, more of the texts have something on letter. That I discovered very easy. It's called Tantrayukti. Tantrayukti. Like do read clearer. The last chapter is about letter. How to understand, how to write, how to design. You don't read Kama Sutra, chapter on method. You read Kama Sutra, chapter on method. So these methods are very interesting through which methods are liberating social. But they are looking at Postcolonial information. They are nothing else as complete views, something that our disciplines are making. I think that is how we need to rethink about social sciences at this way. I'm sure the idea may not look very attractive, but the time of this idea has come. A large number of people are forced to talk about decolonizing mind, decolonization. So probably this is one way that we can move. I'm not saying it's the only way, there are many more ways, but we cannot ignore that anymore. Simply, but people are thinking with these categories. You are wrong. You are completely alienating a set of people from your own discourse. And I quote you, you quote me, both become authority by definition. People have nothing to do with that. So you keep writing books on federalism, people become communal. That situation has to change. And for that, the decolonizing project by negotiators is very important. Thank you very much. So let me also begin by thanking Ankit for this opportunity and also my good friend Satish who never misses a chance to push us into topics that we barely know anything. But thanks to Satish, we'll have always be able to speak on topics every time there's a new topic. So decoloniality is globally now the last decade or so. Key on which there is a lot of literature, a lot of nation. It's at the heart of this, and I what to do with my own way of studying Indian society. These two questions. I think that decoloniality is questioning or segregating certain kinds of epistemic disobedience. But when should we follow certain patterns and categories that are given before they get to be a disobedient? What to the category imperialism of category? Should not do categories from its very become indigenous to those categories because categories reflect certain local experiences. You get the other part of this debate is in history, Ranajit Guha provides studies in Colonial. That question the transition. That why should we only take this transition from feudalism to capitalism as the only protocol? We can think outside progressive temporality and workers' history, social making look like when you put history outside progressive temporality. We could reimagine things very differently. We don't have to necessarily get in terms of technology, globalization, global spaces on it. They have alternative imagination. For the push, decoloniality has been to alternative imagination or more alternative imagination should look like. In Indian context, especially in there have been various interesting institutions. One obviously has been the after strategy, human to look into say molecular political science. Where he instituted the shift in political science in 1770s to behavioralism, where he kind of elaborated on what is shift. Behavioralism this focus on what is happening operatively on the ground, which can in terms of knowledge and social and political behavior. Statistics is an shift came about. Behavioralism drops not into new society, textual understanding. You bring the Western critical theory and its understanding and try to understand human behavior in terms of selectivity. People do what they do. So it's more in terms of the operative, empirical, concrete dynamics that we try to fix. And then Chatterjee further pushes the argument saying this is where you have to push it further towards a kind of Varnamian political science, by which he means that we should begin to focus on ideas that people on the ground actually operate. Therefore, it says that we have to keep mistakes these make significant contributions. The area which exists in everyday interaction. He says that they have to build concepts of history to convert them into political concepts. And this is what then we begin to produce our own kind of political theory. So my this is the part recontextualizing. In manipulation one can make up a disagreement with this concept. But one should relook at potentials not through government means. My question is the external concepts, the very concepts have known a different history. While environment is concerned, we should also raise the question what is problematic in this argument that from elsewhere coming here. If you watch closely, what is the concern here is imperialism. That is just a forceful imposition. So, here is not the theory. Here is certain forceful prototype result in which this concept become universal experience. So, it becomes the central character. When you talk about imperialism, the race is not concern. It is war. In terms of movement, in terms of intellectual knowledge, in terms of financial knowledge, it is the implication of this category rather than emphasizing. Deep reality is only misses this kind of place. If past is the problem, so we need to decolonize the object, then we need to raise the following question, which is to promote within the community. If you take the universal implication, traditions, immunity, I think decoloniality has two sides, two dimensions to the impact. Which is forceful imposition of internal super remedial internal rules of rights. Exclusion, there is gender exclusion, information, there are rural urban differences in India, so on and so on. So this, we cannot use the later like, simply because it is unique categories. You will begin to see that this experience now this volume of power relation becomes irrelevant. It's not that it doesn't imagine decolonial scholars should we will introduce our emotional experience outside the business. We first is a subsidy. The woman is cheaper. Should we move create social relations, intersubjectivity, inside some should be coloniality of this take to the comfort, only of feels strength to one certain area in the repertoire. If you want to take decoloniality, subterfuge that is internally exclusionary, internal correlation, leads to limited discussion. Healthy and humanity. With the biggest story, decolonial scholarship in India, because if you think in terms of political thinkers, we often think family and Tesla. Decolonial principles, those who think decolonial scholarship is that Sambedkar and decolonial. We are only kids. Gandhi symptoms of decolonial India. Think of around in some terms of heritage. And decolonial decolonial, postcolonial, almost an Indian, what available to is together, various Michelle Foucault and Engels. Deciding the sport, the Foucault. It was to be in social through judiciary, through the institution. They found these institutions and legal rights extremely regulated. These are the total but the right. He did not trust Hindu public sphere. He led first impulses importance. He said the submission, especially in the context of India, marriage can be protected but possible. Because the contrast between Gandhi and whether we go for community oriented now change in terms of personal affections, change in terms of personal beliefs, which is what partly Gandhi's emphasis on. Ambedkar did not make for patients, and did not declare the community as a cat. Because Ambedkar said we have to be modern state, modern institution. So this means that we really want to develop decolonial and post-colonial relationships in Indian community. Yet post-colonial leadership in India gives a risk to they talk about so that they don't deal with it. They don't deal with this. They don't deal with bullshit. This sense of decoloniality and post-coloniality will come back in terms of the way these things are so of power in the Indian. We about movements in Indian context heavily related This is avoiding for one of the critical things not spoken in the English of practically one way we need people from global now. Recently we discussed global north versus global south, which the concepts locationality, means locationality within global south, within specific social space, within specific geographical area. Now, the problem with decolonial and postcolonial framework is that they give a certain gems global south. Still born here in it indigenous knowledge. When you raise a question, they should be necessarily celebrate indigenous. How much we have to be the idea that flow in Hindu Shakespeare related to education. They reinforce caste hierarchies, they reinforce social segregation, they reinforce prejudices. We have our own indigenous knowledge system produced justified knowledge system. The question is, it's not a special for colonial and decolonial print. Decolonial, no. Trying to affect you. In this way, decolonial. Indigeneity me in that kind of thing. This question has been so far completely in this debate between decolonial and global north and global south, is it between west and east? And to let's take that this debate very simple. I don't think we need to celebrate philosophy of certain category just because there is. We don't think it's so kind of will celebrate historical culture of slavery. This will not celebrate myths in colonial. So this work in Spain does not have to be good. You know what means not. So that we need to be narrow on it because you know everything is very flexibility is from the social location because which make the big little from that. Necessarily we go get to self-reflect on this near to self. Which we encounter which we go to the history. In terms of the continuity, in terms of discovery. The whole question the modernist movements of where decoloniality, explain the social substance of decoloniality, when you push it, then they should be beginning to explore and explain it. To tell you what action, dealing with the question. So, Indian political scientists from so choose to continue, but again, we are getting creation, we are getting the traditional institutions and really keep itself in place of the democratic rule. This is our best behavior. We have civilization. Each class wanted to glorify your history, looking at class as a way of life. Even history, education for this, it's the machine. We became blind. Therefore, now the Chunamukta will only try to education, ecology, liberal, not to one of the kind of homogeneous, modern Western. We were did we there was a beach of she was in nature. It is the last 10 years in India. The shift Academics are taken in India is that people are moved to more in the country, way of life, in terms of exclusion, minority, and all. This looks like they clearly being a game of the play. Teacher is inclusive because you see today, you know, realization of this. To reinforce patients to different of diversity. You know, the decolonial politics is the exact nature of decoloniality gospel. Can the always lead to marginal participation? We have only trained that possibility. Reinforcement of cross identity, claiming of history due to caste inequalities. He is claiming of craft histories and craft memories that should be celebrated mainly because the indigenous should be celebrated mainly because this is a decolonial way of doing Western reading of crafts. There is also a sense of inclusivity. Some of the they not do that in the long run. The plurality and also reinforcement of existing transparency and exclusions. For every people and plurality can then be done reinforcing in the knowledge content, the competition. There is the ability despite the laboratory operating on the in terms of reinforcing digitalization of input, extreme justifying certain exclusions and casting. It's celebration of state. You it is always leading to nation in some news we do this which is a positive. In the present certain population organizations which is become the problem. So much mobilization is very important. The pretty them and a specific possibility. Visualization data was small tools including suggestion of methodology being knowledge and teacher and warehouse. This fluorescence, the new lesson in late calculation, it is very fluorescence, through reason, through the difference. Then you can say that a neurogenic is it's not every class and calculate it's not prepared this indefinitely will reinforce those classes. If you look at school education policy, you'll get a sense of what I'm talking about. Regionalization of education is being implemented in new education policy, which can read as dignity of the which are also get read as teachers are being overloaded. There is a particular. So decoloniality of postcolonial debate should not mix priority not to raise these deeper questions. If you simply raise it in front of each versus global not versus side, we will not be able to raise this one. When we need to acknowledge decoloniality is existing, there can be alternate live in society, which need not be modernist, which need not be in terms of the composition debate, which need not be in terms of given to His court itself can become in one to reinforce plurality and diversity education of plurality and diversity can be the root in which facilities can be reinforced. This is the kind of the story of the plurality which you need to fuse with it. When you take, when you see the clash between the two, you will never take certain solution between the movement intellectual or systemic debate, then study the systemic categories of making between our relation with the social, with the political and everything. Seriously, look at the debate, whichever legislation petrol. The last debate of business, economic gain, exclusive sphere, is a Muslim and they would take into consideration that of very interesting actually critique because I assume the economy is a basic because it's the law of specialty domain. Now, university may government can intervene in economy. Training research idea can kind of question capitalism. Can you question because capitalism is linked to natural missions of intimacy, missions of sexuality, missions of diversity, missions of ability can be used to kind of question indigenous human groups as a specialized domain. Right? Planning of economy can also be can also become very purpose. It can both ways. You claim the movie debate so in the end, the movie will against wisdom marketing theory, state versus vision board versus that will motivate your economic. What do they do? So they do they see the force, the motivate the specific technical calculation. It's a very important. Decolonized by the things. The general, we have these from the yes, sanction the case of this concept that constitutes position of decolonial leaders to post-colonial. That's not in fact classification. It's what is in this place. In fact, I really don't know what to there now after two very eloquent presentations. And on the night watchman, the last batsman, each has become eternal, so I false uh, see, I'd like to simply with entire debate, I mean, debate is entire, and the powerful frame. Many people may have problems with decolonizing India, but that is some sort of assumption that you are already decolonized. If you are decolonized, why is debate on decolonization? There is, of course, learning this. We can try to look at the entire in the evolution of political science in Indian university. Now, also have to justify this topic, formation of disciplinary movements. Now, even I was just thinking that how political science evolved here. About political science are developing on social science. Social science is all related and all to be market. And when I history, you know that university in Europe was then but on Karl Marx acquired doctorate degree. And there was a university which designed this entire social sciences, which we are basically how to operationalize in India and India. But the two important features of this possession. One is theory of modern certain values. It was divided into children. Why each mathematics looking from no. You have very specific process. And in grammar and data studies certain from literature. So this is carried pages. But this is how we also officer. First university we were created in India after 1950s. Madras, Bombay, and but the same design was implemented. So the rest of this is decolonization of knowledge. So it was basically done, in fact, not forcefully. This is present. And since then, the people have been there in the intellectual knowledge. So, firstly, our 23, a paper was written by Casey for specifically so debate today. So we want to debate in all branches of focus. But in political science, we are creating issues. In that also really different. When we raise the board, basically initiated by five and said that the decline of point. And this is another event which is going to change is that can we have indigenous and you have things so different. How come with this issue? But in that just bring it that right on decolonization in a different because the West are in important meaning because they have financial power. And here in fact, of course, what interesting that I don't mind saying we have to take this essentially, placing the language. That's why it's a colonial movement. What extent today for and the three suggestions which are funded in India. Indian Institute of Public Administration, then Council of World Affairs, my thinking for legal and parliamentary studies. For providing social practice. Yeah. This is the issue of demonstration. This was all going and this is going to be very it might bound and bound in changing persons. Where it's more than it's probably changing it. Sure. In this environment, there is a general studying to think that so the piece of writing, one right, nothing wrong. And it is from is scholars of the planets and rings are found right. How did I think it is simple? But it's similar, but it's called concurrence, which is trying to provide experience. And India understanding government. It is not not in the way. It is that they are now. There's the vaccine of the France chain to varieties. Hardly it was when we were ready to reach in India and Africa. Surely, this is between the background of the no center and the country, so that is not all. In relationship between the here. And when physical things, but these laws change. Indian knowledge system was taken by the development. Yes, the behavior of these continents for salary came over in India was different. You are not here. Someone so what about the national strategy in a whenever you have to I think in India, and then and this is problem this entire debate on decolonization you can see. You what is the is another juvenile illegal. Another you know, prison and whatever. So, people want to start this decision. He identified the political choice. And interestingly, the rhetoric got from you can decline of Christian path. And the ban along and said, yes, there's no one to do Christian political choice. Because some is not the oh, take on, so they are running in here, taking it away. So I think this is not this point. What practice debate this time. Because of number of issues, really provide work. So it's not totally deal. Complex your life. Do not have actual, boundaries. The concept, or it is the particular historical part of this. Different experiences, some of them, their distinctness with and this is not actually very good. And is find five pieces. But not five. There are businesses. Well, it's say. Security for circus development, whatever. And that has basically led to, skipping the possibility of indigenous crime. So it's very to have one point of the rest. And the final one, it's and so you think to the of contemporary. And then you put in one item, what? And so why this is very relevant to sorry, this people. So interesting. Sorry, debate among scholars on this decolonization. I think space. And this is the identity. You know, Aryabhatta has this Atasa. Different subcons more or less related. And we have three generations who have looked in this government just thinking of step giving on March. And that's generation. It is basically online kind thing. The three generations, they are important. Two generations. Then they're going to be a white modernity. Then they will take the distinctive factor of Indian politics. And here, he so and others and 50. And we contextualize the theory involved in the risk. The dawn totally described. We have to make contextualize. So what you are saying is now modernization and everything. And you must be knowing that the country in India, so for that matter, politics in India is not like a thing for ignorance. You brought in the system is fun. It's pretty fun. We can bishop spread. Interestingly, you know, talking about putting this on the I mean, two ladies with a common mission, you're another word was Yemen. And that's one. They are continuous levels for these countries, this context concepts. You know, however, people understand. In fact, we have to romanticize, not just like romanticize India, wonder the whole India. One, you know, like they go back to their own right thing that we have every argument there. The subsequent theoretically making my and they will try to, claim someone. And for example, so I think because what is just like that, not that lay up in the block these study Try system. Each subject was applying the thing for. That's where I was to go. You were trying to pass there. Here. So this is how I do it. Who was trying to, internet best news? It just reported messages. So you have, I'm not saying intervening on politics. You have to get division. Five different days. These are people in their division. informality, no, this is what it's development, right? It's very so English. It's not big to the it's deep concept, totally deep concept. And here I understand. The best way to understand what is concept. Okay? It's study. But so this impacting the thing. So I think in 1975, I was talking about a specialist of Indian philosophical journal. This is for years. When you have a political strong, I don't know, we have to get known by technology. So the now in the single Indian territory culture, which was it. Problem starts each calculation one. This is what I want to the impact of Indian. Sure. So this course is so nice. Because Mahajan will be equal to niche. Plus, remember, they don't possibly recall services, laws, and the current cities. In the basically, but the reason factor of duration is remembering corporate I know like it's 35 years. But I'm liberation. Sharp, yeah. That's your hierarchies. Yeah, that. Simply means this was start between the system for Indian system, knowledge, experience. Can just by this should also business. That is the issue of people around discipline, so society and the idea is coming to person. The debate goes on. We have many more such engagements with it. Yes, the debate is on, and we have about 5-7 minutes left. So there now is an open house. We are willing to answer them. Okay. So you can think in the meanwhile. May I ask a good message just in case if you have? Okay, please. My question is, Dr. Devi, I agree. I think a major part of your arguments when you were referring to Dr. Ambedkar's So, there is to state over community. Maybe that community has a problem, but you did not point out the community with the state. Now we know our common people's experience with the state. State is highly impersonal, very, very powerful. And it is Dalit for whom Dr. Ambedkar was speaking. They are the sufferer, one of the sufferers, state power. And not recent time when there is a collision between corporate and state. So how would you respond to that? Yeah. Right. Okay. So it's from the place that like you put to how to respond to it. Which is yes. Ah, is it did you say that? It's simple. The name is Dept. So I don't actually need to see that about international success. Like people are actually getting communal. People are actually getting communal in cookies. So these cookies are people are actually getting. So seeing that does that mean that the rural religious beliefs of India is solving other bearing for understanding about kind of political philosophy nowadays? I mean, India is a country, as we know, as you said about the human part, on the last section of this, that people are actually becoming immunal in a sector literature. So I thought that India is a kind of having a country in this way. So does that make our citizen a kind of barrier to from understanding the political process? One more question, just now. Last one, yes. Please go right bit of the faster, right? Other especially.
So, people science honest. We have not the question, but two outreach is coming to us, to share about the save and the mask release. So you were sharing the anecdote with how you were not allowed to use one data take for 3 years. I just wanted to ask. So what is such your dissatisfaction with this rule? Thank you. Okay.
What questions? Yeah. I don't think of the activity. He said, no, sir, it's the concept, it's like something like so that the practice. So that is laid by the concept of Sydney Ahmad and Abba. So we are moving, backward in the civic culture, what traditional culture or participant culture. So that this the concept of life of art is stayed to the concept of Sydney Baba and Ahmad. What's it? It's the first time. So we have the I think the business chance, but maybe some other key platforms. Some comments on very individual one members. And we have 12 ideas. So yes. Okay. What is benefit of the audience? Yeah, here's the other examples. So it's so the chief of the no, it's distracted. This is one another. Six, the crime is very bad. Because after all, college has to open. It is presented and correct and peace. And that presentation can be like forced and saying that morning fixing. Well, there's the need on site, it's in the size things. But I mean, most of the resources exist in the Unless have committed a particular system context. Which I just research as the cash rating situation. That we want to escape from certain capitalism. But then if you plan of this, perhaps it's surrounding we get and then here, bringing this share by them with therefore, to have which can escape wars, right? And can at least be the source for the liberation of society or society. Okay, I think we can answer this next line. Agree with you that religion properly, we are giving schizophrenic life. We have one private domain, one public domain. This is true about so many of our friends. One small joke for a Marxist friend who had asthma and went for yoga, and he was told that if you can say Om, some gland will vibrate. He came back and called his Marxist friends, how can I say Om? So another friend suggested, instead of calling Om, you start saying Mao, Mao, and same gland will vibrate. So these are dilemma. Please, all of them. Many Marxist friends you will find all in a liberal friend, privately going to tell you and publicly saying that religion is hard. So maybe we have to associate it. We have to work out. I agree with you. There is a disjunction between our being, thinking, and knowing. Knowing has become a subject, it's separate. As a consequence, we do take that word. That is the problem. So therefore, you are right. See, because religion has not been questioned, has not been analyzed by liberal thinkers. Therefore, there is a dialogue that I keep telling you, Rajesh. Can you be a philosopher of secularism without understanding what does religion say? Certainly impossible. I agree with you. So the thing is that why that we say why is there? Experts were designed by the colonial masters. And we have been struggling to get out of that, but we never to get out of that. But also, other reason is resources. Even today, all our students want to go abroad to do PhD because they have resources. Our institutions are declining, associates and all. But look at this structured topic on which they are working. This is a practical area that practically degrading in a way. None of them will allow us to work on theory. If you want to go in England, start working in colonial. Master minds, you talk about himself. Either you critique or appreciate. So that design the egalitarian social science, as Gopal would say, and language play a very, very important role in it. I suggest you to hear our skill, which is drastic about the way social science have been constituted. And something I think is let, let us give a project in indigenous. Indigenous knowledge or indigenous concepts and categories are not important if they are not liberated. I think I take from KP Bhattacharya only one that's very important. That give a chance to different knowledge to engage. Because sometimes anyone can come into what is all other systems declared to be false. And therefore, even if they have powerful concepts and categories, universal categories, they are not taken seriously. They are said and they say that it is religious. For instance, most of they think it is religious. Not a debate is going on. The tribal community may have better understandings of relation with nature, but we don't even take cognizance of that. Like a student who has worked on tribal epistemology, and particularly in the question of governance. So I think this kind of individuality has no meaning. It is that would be an identity assessment project when you think that individuality documents. I think it is not really it is useless. But give a good chance to it to explain. Because the resources are dying in the press. And less economic process, the way processes have been studied. And see in the Western power structure in knowledge, Carl Jung, who wrote some critical psychologist, correct me, who wrote some articles when he came to India. Concept of consciousness and conclude that India has a very powerful theory of consciousness. He was told by international psychology community that you have to disown the God. And finally, he had to write that these were my infatuations with other cultures. Only when he became 60, he could defy the dictates of international psychological association, he started saying that India had a wonderful theory of consciousness. This kind of problem, and every intellectual you talk to in the West, Arvind Mandhe, we had a dialogue with Mandhe. He told us how he's not being allowed to say what he wants to say. Nothing is very interesting example. Who are going to do for policy absorbed from east to west. And he was excommunicated from his own community that was created around this theory. So I asked people why are you excommunicated him? They said that no, he's using too much of Indian concepts of category. So he said that if they have agreed with 6 books, they have to agree with my 7th book, because my 7th book is a logical consequence of the 6th. And that changed the idea again. So in this kind of relationship is very, very important. Speak of project. However, the book letter. Speaking of second. You find the figures. And let's first paper very lost. It's format. But last year the competitors and I have to call my paper sequential models. Because what makes this wrong? Right. So I know. A way he many friends, slow water is good for us to right. So therefore, I think that the Robert King's misconception about the and if you have this for sure is colonization debate, right? Indian context and it talked about separated. He didn't I so students the place like you respond for environment. So I